Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Match Day. I'm Vince. With me today, spur of the moment, last minute call out to these three. We have Deb Raber in the bottom, at least on my screen. Deb, can you say hello and make sure we got your audio?
Hi, everyone.
Good, great. And we got we've got Brandon Silva. Brandon, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Good, and we got Steve Ryan.
Hi, everybody.
Yep. Perfect. And look, by the way, I love your background there, Steve. I mean, my goodness, life's rough right now. Well, these three are our academy staff coaches. They're wonderful instructors. If you've ever had a chance to learn from them, they're terrific. I've asked them to come on to help me present our blended and virtual diplomas that we are offering and we're going to be offering. So this is more informational, but I would like for Brandon, Steve, and Deb to chime in where you feel free. So for all those on the other end, please feel free to chat or ask a question in the chat box. And I'm more than happy to try and answer those as we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the presentation. And just want to thank these three for coming on because I asked them on very short notice. So at United Soccer Coaches, we felt like it's a really good opportunity for coaches to continue to learn, but hopefully in a way where it's affordable, it is convenient, and there's less barriers, right? So travel and hotels and flights and everything else like that. So we've come up with some different offerings. We presented one of these before, but I have three of the authors of the blended advanced courses on, so I'm going to have them kind of go through those a little bit. But just so everyone knows what we're going to cover in this little 20-minute window, we hope, is we're going to talk a little bit about our advanced courses, and those are blended, and I'll explain what that means. And then you can see the price: $750 for a member, $875 for a non-member. Our development diplomas are our grassroots diplomas. They're $20. I'll explain how those look or what those look like. And then starting in September, we're going to have a high school diploma that's completely virtual, right? And that's going to be a $99 member price and a $149 member price. So I'm going to go through those. And anybody on the other end, please feel free to forward this to your club or the leadership in your club. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. So basically, and let me move our head. Here we go. Basically, the blended courses, it's a combination of pre-recorded, virtual classroom, and in person, and then you have an assessment. So as we continue, I'm just going to have, when it gets to their time, Deb, you can talk about the national. Brandon and Steve, you can both talk about the advanced nationals. You are the authors of those two. So, all right. I'm going to basically just go through the phases. I'm going to continue to move our heads. So phase one is that you access pre-recorded webinars. There are roughly in the national diploma, I think there's about 7.5 hours of content you have to get through. I think in the advanced national, Steve, what is about 9.5, 10?
Yes, exactly. A little bit more than the national.
Yeah, yep, in the advanced national. And in the premiere, it's about six or 7 hours in the premiere. Those are pre-recorded webinars. In each webinar or pre-recorded webinar, there's a little mini assignment. You receive a PDF fillable when you sign up, and you put all your assignments in that PDF fillable. After you've done all that PDF fillable, you then submit that PDF. We say, great, go on to phase two. So phase two, and this is where I'm going to have Deb and Brandon and Steve kind of chime in here. So in phase two, there will be 6 synchronous learning opportunities. So they're roughly 2 topics at a time, and I'll go through that here after Deb explains the national advance, and Steve and Brandon talk about the advanced and the advanced national. So, Deb, would you mind telling us maybe some of the content they're going to get in the national diploma?
Yeah, so a lot of what the exciting thing is, and I'll preface this, is like the people who are the authors for these 3 courses, so myself, Steve, Brennan, and then Paul Marco, like the amount of time we spent on calls together to make sure that it was a seamless flow from one course to the next was just, it was amazing to be a part of it. And the amount of sharing that all of us did throughout the process was just, it was exciting. It was like, it was my own professional development, listening to everyone else speak and share. So when everyone's moving on to phase 2 now, when everyone is done with their phase 1 and we move on to phase 2, then you're going to come into a Zoom room and hang out with myself or another instructor specific to the topic, where say we talk about, in the national course, we'll talk about principles of play and practice planning one night. Then in another night, we're going to talk about program leadership with Ben Freakley and myself on ethics. And then another session is going to be based on system development, or what did we do? Shaping the team. That's what it was. Shaping the team. I've been looking at so many things. Shaping the team. And then we are going to also all be together, actually all the courses together with Ian Donnelly, so that we can learn a lot more about iSport analysis. And then we have another session, again, open up to everyone across all 3 courses for a diversity session as well. So I think it's going to be an opportunity where, you know, typically we're hanging out down in the hotel lobby, sharing ideas amongst coaches. This is going to give us the opportunity to share some amazing ideas and have the coaches share their ideas as we progress through the courses. So there's still that built-in sharing time that we strongly believe is a vital component to all of our courses.
Yeah, it's hopefully we can build some connections and some relationships through these Zoom calls as best we can, right, in the situation that we've been given. So thank you, Deb. That was fantastic. Brandon, can you talk a little bit about the Advanced National? Obviously, we want the courses are all going to connect, but anything you want to add in?
I mean, I can start just quickly, just to echo Deb. It's been a very humbling experience to be around some of the best in our association, and super excited about the content and really getting started with everyone. Steve has really taken the initiative, and it is a credit to him to do a lot of the work for us together with the Advanced National. And just again, with Deb, what she says, we have some of the modules that we'll introduce in phase 2 would be the coaching roles and training, and of course the ethics and safe environment and leading. And then there's also the coaching roles and some feedback and reflection. So, and the sports performance one is outstanding. I don't know, Steve, you want to chime in from there, but.
Yeah, I would only add that, you know, I know there's a lot of stuff out there in terms of software on the internet and education you can do, and a lot of subscription type things. And I belong to a lot of those, and I hop around on the internet a lot. And personally, I've looked over all the content for all 3 courses, and the content is outstanding. So you're really getting great value for your money. There's a lot there. And courses build on each other. Plus, you get the interactive portions and even a phase 3 and a phase 4 that Vince is going to talk about. So it's really, I think, a really good value, and it goes several steps beyond most of the stuff that's out there. So I'd encourage you to really check it out and think about putting a little bit of time and effort and money, obviously, into the experience.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to add on to that point. I mean, we're trying to make this affordable. I mean, right now, licensing, can be costly, even though the U.S. Soccer they are going to reprice their licensing, which is great. Making it more affordable and less barriers, so kudos to them. I'm getting feedback. I'm not sure what it is, but and then Ellen asked a really good question. So Ellen, your question is, and we're getting this right now from the people that are currently signed up. Does the cohort choose the synchronous meeting time since it's across all time zones? No. And we're going to set up times, and they'll primarily be in the evenings. However, all the meetings will be recorded, so you don't have to go and watch them live. We would love for you to, if you can. But if you can't, you'll get the recording the next day. You can watch the recording, and then there's an assignment that will tie into that synchronous learning opportunity that you either watch live or watch on recording, and then you just type it in another PDF fillable that you'll receive. So you mentioned across all time zones, I think that in a perfect world, we would have one in the daytime and one in the nighttime, but Steve and Brandon are school teachers. Deb's a professor, and we've got all these other instructors that are kind of really busy with their normal lives. We also recognize, though, however, that people that are taking it might be school teachers. So they might be free at night, but not during the day. And then we got people that make their living on the fields at night, right? So they got more time in the day, but they're on the fields with their clubs or whatever at night. So it's the best we can do is we'll set up a set time, per week. So for example, the National Diploma in September will be in September. It'll be on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll go through the synchronous learning. It'll be recorded. And for those that missed it, they can watch it the next day. So, and then they can take their type in their PDF fillable. So great question. And then Andrew asked a question, says he's currently working on his D, which I don't know, Andrew, if it's virtual or not, because I heard that they're doing virtual as well. There is a year break. That's a requirement from the Federation, right? You got to wait a year. Does it make sense to do your national or to jump to your advanced national? So for me, I think it depends on the level you want to coach, the level you coach. That's just me. Deb and Stephen and Brandon, any thoughts to that one? So basically what he's asking is, he's taking his D, he's going to take a C. Should he take a national or advanced national? Your thoughts?
I think the information, and two other coaches have already alluded to this as well, I think the information that we've put together really builds one upon the next. So I think skipping the national, there's some really solid information that would help to be more successful in the advanced national course. And, as coaches, I always tell coaches, don't rush the journey. Yeah. It's all about learning. And there's some amazing things that coaches, if they did skip the national, would miss out on that will help them in the advanced national. Brennan, Steve?
Yeah, I just typed that in, Andrew. I just typed basically what Deb said. I think because we worked together on 3 courses, and Deb worked really hard on establishing like a vocabulary,
yep,
and a foundation that I think you'll be able to, if you're doing the D into the C, I think it'll fit kind of nicely. The national has more content and is more involved than the D. So I think I would go with the national. I would start there. I would not skip it.
And if I could just say one thing too, along with that, just to chime off Ellen's question, I think what you're going to find in our association, which is the reason why, and by the way, I have no grimes with the USSF track, but I bleed USC, and that's the way it's always going to be. So I've decided to stay with them my entire licensing development. But Ellen, to answer your question too, you're going to find that the instructors that you're going to have in our association, you come first. And don't be surprised if you wanted to set up your own little meeting with them to do some retrieval practice after you watch that video, that they would not make time for you individually to do that. That's the kind of people that we have in our association. So don't be frightened by the video and not get the same experience. You'd be shocked to find out that you wouldn't have a coach to spend 20 minutes on a live Zoom call one-on-one to help you catch up and to build that relationship that you might have missed.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's always been kind of our mantra, right? And that we usually go the extra step.
Yeah. Can I just add one thought?
I'll just say this.
Yeah, I just want to add one thought to the phase 2 material as well. Is no matter how many courses I've ever taught, the thing that I find to be so incredibly powerful are those side conversations that coaches are having amongst themselves. Like, sure, you learn a lot from the phase 1 content, but what coaches learn from each other by having to talk through scenarios or share their ideas or their thoughts, it's just so incredibly powerful. And that's why I'm so excited that the association has included that phase 2 for those discussion opportunities. Sorry,
yeah.
Ben.
No, it's great. And I just, speaking of it, because we've been on this slide for a while, but it's great. So the idea is that we have 2 topics presented at a time. So for example, we might have training sessions and principles of play. And so Deb would be in a breakout room with a group doing training sessions. I might be in a breakout room doing principles of play. We go for about 25, 30 minutes, pause, come back, break out again, right? But the groups just switch and the instructor just repeats their presentation again. So that way you won't be, it's just not us yammering at you for 75 to 90 minutes, right? So it's meant to be engaging, interactive, and so forth. So unfortunately, Paul Marco says he cannot get in. So that must be my fault. But anyway, so that's kind of the way it's going to work. And then the other thing too, we are going to have a presentation on diversity and inclusion that for all courses that will be required to attend as well. So they have to basically either watch them virtually, either live or participate in them, or watch them on recording. All of them. You got to watch them all. But really excited about adding the diversity and inclusion piece to it. And then the other thing is, the ethics. Definitely, we're definitely getting in more, in my opinion, into more of the soft skills of coaching. We got sports performance. James Wagenschutz, one of the leaders in that industry, will be leading that. Ben Frakley is going to be leading sports psychology. He's absolutely fantastic. And Ian Donnelly is going to be doing performance analysis. So the content, and Sarah McQuaid, who's a queen, is going to be doing reflection and the importance of reflecting. So, the content is honestly, it's outstanding. And they've authored it, they've created it, but they all connect. So kudos to all of them. So I'm just going to move on. So after you do and these are all these are all the topics. So you can kind of see it, and I just went through them really quickly. So after you're done with phase 2, you've submitted your PDF, then you go to a 1 weekend, either Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday offering in person. That's probably, just so everyone knows, it's going to be 2021 sometime. It won't be anywhere in 2020. It just won't. But it could be anywhere in the country. So once we feel like we've got enough interest, and we'll organize that. But that's phase 3. It might even be you attend a second weekend of a 2-weekend course, right? So for example, I know Brandon and Steve, they always do a 2-weekend course, it seems like, at their school. So it might be you just attend that second part, right? So there's some flexibility there. And then afterwards, something new we've been doing for past 2 years is you record yourself with your own team. You'll get feedback from that session, and you'll upload it, and then you receive your award and diploma. So that's the blended courses. I'm going to quickly go through the development courses. I'm going to move our heads. Oh, Par Marco has joined the room.
Yeah, I just texted him what to do, so I guess it worked.
Okay. All right. I must have given him the wrong I don't know. Did I do something wrong?
No, he didn't open up a different browser. That's all. He's a mess.
Okay. All right, good. So here's the development diplomas. They're $20, and you get all this. So you get a 4v4. So if you sign up, for example, for the 4v4 development diploma online, you get, it's about an hour and 15-minute online narrated presentation. Full transparency, it's me without the talking head. But it's just me narrating the presentation. We did them years ago, and now we're able to use them now. So you get that. You also get the 4v4 7799 or 11v11 manual, which is packed full of great information. Roll the Dice book, which is a book I wrote in honor of my late brother-in-law, who was a coach. And he would often ask me, Vince, what do you do when 6 kids show up and you have 8 in your plan? Right. So I wrote that book in honor of him, and it's basically just different activities from 4 players to 12 players. And then afterwards, you also receive 2 full convention videos. So you might receive a convention video with Deb working with little kids. or Dougie Williamson, who's one of our absolute best, one of the best I've ever seen working with little kids and children. So you'll get those 2 convention videos all for $20, no in person. However, if there is a club that wants to set up like a Zoom call and they get all their coaches in a Zoom call, I'm more than happy to jump on and answer any questions they might have on the development diploma. So, Paul Marco, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, people.
So, Paul, we just went through the blended courses, and I had Deb and Brandon and Steve talk about the National Advanced National. Do you want to say something about the Premier?
Sure. I want to say, obviously, welcome. Sorry I'm late. It was the web browser. I changed 3 different ones and upgraded, and now I'm on. The concept of us, you know, my boss always tells us to try and meet the players where they're at. We're currently meeting the coaches now where they're at because we're not able to do in-person coaching. The blended stuff has been terrific. It was a joy to put the presentations together. I think they challenged our staff as much as they're going to inspire and encourage the coaches. We're here for you during the course, throughout the course, after the course. I think that the biggest takeaways from all of the courses is to try and really dig deeper than what you're seeing on the screen. Try and apply, always go back to the game, the 5 W's, who does what, where, when, and why, and how they're doing it is their technique, and kind of try and see if you can see the game through a different lens. And then for the Premier specifically, we're looking at mostly 11v11 stuff. We're talking about team concepts and team principles. You know, and then we're looking at modern trends in the game with counter pressing and counter attacking and zonal marking on set plays and, you know, half spaces and what the field kind of looks like now, different than what it looked like. Certainly, you know, 120 by 75 is the same, but how it's being operated inside and the changes of the laws of the game, making the space bigger now that you can play out of the 18 in possession. So just all of the modern trends and concepts. And then as we move into phase 2, we'll be then speaking in person with, or over internet, but we'll be live greeting some of our staff as well, talking about specific systems. So yes, thrilled.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks for being out. Sorry you had trouble getting on. Good thing we're doing online learning. But anyway, so I'm going to move on. So the development diplomas, again, honestly, it's for $20. There's no differentiation between member and non-member. It's just $20 if you want to take it. And the next one I'm just going to present, I'm really excited about, just personally because I grew up as a high school teacher, you know, as far as my adult career is concerned. High school teacher and a high school coach for 17 years. Brandon and Steve are high school teachers and coaches. We both, I'm sure we all 3, and hopefully Paul and Deb see value in the high school game as well, right? But the high school is a different dynamic than club. And I've always loved coaching high school just because I know the kids love playing for their schools. They just do. So this one is going to be completely virtual, and the price is $99 for a member, $149 non-member. There are 5 phase 1 or pre-recorded webinars. So it will be, you know, psychology. There'll be an intro one. There'll be roles of coaching, principles of play. So there's like 5 of those that you just watch, and then you have little assignments with those. Same idea with the blended format that we're doing. And then phase 2 will just be live Zoom calls, and the whole idea is that you attend at least 4 of those 6 live. Now, so Ellen, if you're still on, this might be a challenge, but this is where we're going to have to kind of meet everybody where they live, right? And if we have to do 2. We have to do 2. By the way, this, I'll just go back. This was shaped by Kevin Sims, our president, our current president now. He's a high school teacher and coach. Rusty Oglesby, who is in Texas, and a couple of Howard Putterman and Greg Winkler, and others that have kind of voiced what they think should be in it. But basically, it's 4 to 6 Zoom calls. We will have a panel discussion, and that panel discussion could be anything, right? It could be, how do you promote a diverse environment, right, or inclusive environment in your high school program? How do you fundraise? So that it could be lots of different presentations on the panel. And then basically when you're done, and Ellen, I'll try to get to your question here. After you're done, you actually get the high school diploma, and we're also going to create an electronic badge. It's kind of, I don't know, Deb and Paul, you're in the academic world, you're in the college world. I'm hearing that like little electronic badges that students can put on their LinkedIn profiles and Facebooks, those are kind of like in vogue right now. So you will get an electronic badge. You will also get 2 convention videos. So for sure you'll get Ian Barker, because he gets the most stars out of any of us that present when he presents at the convention. And it might be a Laura Harvey, it might be a Deb Raber, it might be whoever, but you'll get 2 full convention videos. And then something that I created, a little tactical scenarios booklet, right? That has just different scenarios, very much what we do on Monday Manager with Ian and I, right? We do these tactical quizzes and you choose. So I created a tactical book, scenario booklet for that group. And that's it. That's done. So, Ellen says a patch to sew on your backpack. Old school. Love that. Yeah, that'd be cool. Ellen asks, should you be currently coaching at a high school? No, I don't think so. I think it might be if you want to be a high school coach, right? So why not? And we're trying to make it affordable for those high school teachers and coaches, because we know that teachers, God bless all of you, and I was a teacher for 17 years, you already shell out enough of your own money to help your kids, especially elementary school teachers. God bless them. So, Steve, Deb, Brandon, anything? Paul, anything you want to add on? Because I'm going to go ahead and stop this slideshow presentation. And we had a few of you on live. Hopefully more people watch this later. But anything, just leaving it up to all of you to add in 2 cents.
I think it's an awesome educational opportunity.
Thank you. Yep. I'm really excited about the high school. Really am. I think, and by the way, Brandon and Steve, get ready because you're going to be asked. But I'm really looking forward to, in my vision, it would be, maybe it could be Paul Marco talking about principles of play, right? Or Deb, because they're college coaches. Look, this is what we see, right? That our kids coming in, they don't grasp still, right? But you're literally talking to the high school coach audience.
Right.
But for me, it should be those on the Zoom calls, delivering the Zoom calls should be high school coaches, right? Those are living it. They're like, Vince, this doesn't work because we only have half a field.
Right.
Which, and as a matter of fact, after this call, I have to go on. I have to figure out how to teach a 1-3-5-2 in half field. Right. So, yeah, good luck. But,
Vince, one of the things when the academy came out, the high school coaches and the high school programs kind of took a hit a little bit. And I never thought that was a fair discussion, not even an argument. I didn't think it was a fair discussion because for me, the things that the kids gain and the coaches gain out of high school is, for first straight away, it's a sense of community. And that's lost a little bit in club soccer. Yep. Kids are traveling now great distances to play with teams and they lose their sense of community. So for me, high-fiving and talking to the kids during the day in the hallways and all of that sense of school spirit, you miss that. I think all kids should get to play high school soccer. And they get to go. And for me, the other piece is, as and Deb and I in the college, and then the ones that are coaching in high school, the 9th and 10th graders are playing up. Yeah. They're playing against 11th and 12th graders. So for us, those are the ones that we're really coming to see play. How do they interact when they're playing against some older kids? Because you don't see that a lot in club anymore. Most times you're playing in pure age groups and you play with your age group. Yeah. But yeah, I'm thrilled for all of the programs that we're offering. I think we've moved the needle certainly in a very great direction, and we've moved it far along. Now it'll be time for some other people to try to keep up with us because I think we're on the cutting edge of some stuff. Just really thrilled to be part of it.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your leadership and your guidance. And Brandon and Steve and Deb, thank you so much. Really excited. We got the 3 authors of the blended courses on, and really excited. And people, by the way, are signing up. They're registering. And so now we got to get ready for phase 2, everybody. So thank you all so much. And Deb, Brandon, Steve, Paul, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Vince.
Everybody.
Thank you, Vince.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Take care.